are live, coming here with a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Trevor, and tonight we are joined by Alex. Alex, how you doing tonight?
Yo.
And we're also joined by Andy. Andy, how you doing tonight?
What up?
And we are here, finally, the award show season recap. God, I didn't think we would ever make it, right? I mean, 22 episodes of this, 22 weeks later, here we are. Andy, initial thoughts on this season?
I'm just glad we're done. I mean, this is the longest finale. This is the longest show. This was a grind. And you know what? We didn't quit. And even though some of us might have missed an episode here and there, we still stuck it out. We still kept going. Maybe some, injuries along the way, but we persisted. We made it through. And guess what? We're here. We did it. Another season in the books.
How many weeks of this was there actually? Was it 22? I think there was 22 weeks. I mean, that's out of control. But here we are. Alex, initial thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I think Andy touched on it. The biggest thing for me, and, we'll tease some of the awards, but I just hated how long it was. I feel like most of the episodes were good. They were entertaining, some good, impressive performances, a lot of MVP candidates. But it's just when it's 90 minutes and it takes this long, and not to mention you had teams coming in, you had teams leaving, you had partners leaving, but then their other partner saves them. It all just adds to the length in a bad way. And so, I mean, I personally think it's better than last season, just with some of the names that we had. But, I mean, I don't think this was an awesome season or anything.
So regardless of the time, Andy, Alex kind of hinted on it at the end there. Regardless of how many EPs there were, what did you think about the season overall, though? Did you think it was fine? You think it sucked? Or just because of the 90 minutes, 22 episodes, it just rubbed you the wrong way and kind of this whole season's a wash?
It's honestly kind of hard to give thoughts about that because, when we were doing our awards and everything, and we'll get to that, but I just have to think back in the season and I forget countless teams that were on here. Remember, we had it started as ride or dies, then it split into two teams, and I think there was a draft, and then now it's not a draft, and then there was a 3-part finale. It's just you think back on this season, and it's this was so damn long. And honestly, if they were to make these 60-minute episodes and they condensed it into 15 episodes, I think I would probably really enjoy it. But based on how they spun this out for as long as they did, I can barely remember the first half of this season.
Well, and that's kind of my thoughts on this season. I personally think this was a good season. I like this season a lot. The issue is how the season ended. If you look at the last 5 episodes, they just all mushed together. I mean, we literally had 3 episodes of finals. That can't happen anymore. But it kind of taints the entire season. And it's a shame that it does, honestly.
Because it ends that way.
Because I feel like we kept talking, episode 9, episode 11, episode 12. We were I feel like we're in a good spot of the challenge. I kept, I felt like on the pod, it was enjoyable. But I feel like the last, 15, 10% of the season was just terrible. And it just that was one of the worst finals of all time. I mean, the 100 hours was dumb. 100 hours in 5 days. I mean, I don't know.
And format-wise, too, I think at the beginning when it started, we were doing the previews. I personally was excited that we were going back to partners. Guy and girl team. It's simple. It's simple compared to a lot of seasons we've had in the past where it's kind of solo, but you're always switching. But then they don't do a simple voting. They don't do last place goes in. They do, the win. You have to pick 4 teams, and then they pick each other. And we saw some of the teams, early on in the season, it was a disadvantage to win. So they're literally trying not to win, which I think throws it off. And then obviously we had the thing in the middle where they changed teams, which is just you started off on a good note where you just had easy to understand partners. They weren't switching every episode like past seasons, but then you just make it more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah, Andy, anything else, or should we just start diving into these awards?
Let's Yeah, let's lay it out for the listeners, the new viewers. So, so this is our awards show. We kind of started doing this instead of a like in-depth season recap because we're going to touch on everybody and the biggest things here. So we have 10 awards. We're each going to give a pick. We're going to do a snake draft. So there's going to be 30 selections overall. We're all gonna, or one of us is gonna give it. We'll all three kind of comment on it for a couple minutes, and then we'll move on to the next one. We'll do honorable mentions, and then once we get past the last category, we'll kind of have some closing thoughts to end it. So
sounds good.
I think, and at the end, we'll touch on anything we may have missed, but we'll start with kind of the 10 awards we got here. We'll explain some of them as we go along, but I think we need
an order.
Yeah,
first.
We need the order.
So I see a few people in the chat right now. Let's give us the order right now. And this will be the order for the rest of the night. So, okay, Squid, I see you in the chat. We'd love to hear from you giving us the order. So, first response will be the order of tonight's show. We got Trev, Alex, Andy. God, I do not like my order.
Me neither.
You want to trade?
Are you going to double cross me?
I'll trade your first round pick for your. I'm just kidding.
More complicated than the dagger pull.
All right, here we go.
Trev trying to trade back. Who is he? Ballard?
God. All right, first award tonight, Rookie of the Year. Pretty straightforward. I feel like there's, and just to clarify, I don't think it was said there. We cannot pick duplicates and we cannot pick teams. So Rookie of the Year, we cannot pick a team. It's got to be a solo person. MVP, solo person. So with that being said, my Rookie of the Year was my last place PR. And it was Horcrux as my Rookie of the Year. And if you guys know, I said if Horcrux got 2 elimination wins, I would call him Horacio. And from now on, I got to call him Horacio. I mean, Horacio had one of the best seasons, maybe the best rookie season of all time. I'll say it. I mean, what was it? 5 elimination wins, 5-0. Yeah. The only reason why, and don't get me wrong, I think that team in a final without Olivia's broken nose might have won. I think, it was something they couldn't really, it was a freak incident. It just happened. So, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, Horacio 5-0, dominated the season, and really had no alliances coming in or anything, and really showed. I honestly would love to see him back the rest of the season, or for multiple seasons to come, and I think he really made a name for himself. So yeah. My Rookie of the Year is Horacio. I think that's a pretty straightforward pick.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I mean, he's probably in contention for some of our other awards later down the line because he had that impressive of a season.
I'll get into that.
I'll just kind of give my pick since obviously it's going to go hand in hand with Horacio.
I mean, it's not like us tag teaming or anything like that.
But yeah, since you'll leave me his partner, so I'm going to go with Olivia.
Wow.
Kind of, the tag team there. So she won 3 eliminations when they were still a team. And, you think back to Olivia this season, and it's the 3 elimination wins. It's, she had some moments with Nelly T in the middle. She was always looking bad. And then, the way she goes out with the whole golf ball thing where she literally almost died and still wanted to compete. I mean, that's just incredible. And I think, they both obviously have unique Horacio and Olivia individual performances because they got split up at some point in the season. But I think for the most part, we will kind of think back to them as a team. Like Horacio and Olivia, one of the best rookie teams of all time. And, they did it. They had an amazing season. So I'm just going to round out the team, and I'll go with Olivia for my pick.
Great pick. And before we move on to Andy's pick, do we think both of these people will come back next season? Andy says yes.
I think yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like them both. Like, absolutely. I think they're staples now. I mean, they earned their stripes this season. I just worry about Olivia just kind of hanging it up. Like, I feel like she could just do her own thing. I don't know. She
might be traumatized. She almost died.
I mean,
but I mean, yeah, I think their approval rating is through the roof. I think we all want them back. It's a matter of, we've had rookies in the past where we're like, oh yeah, they should come back every season. And then the challenge casting, for whatever reason, brings back Fezzi and Casey. So, like, I mean, it's kind of up to them, but I don't think they could have made a better case for both of them coming back.
Absolutely. So, moving on, Rookie of the Year, we'll round it out. Andy, who you got for Rookie of the Year?
I mean, this is a clear one, too. So I feel like I'm kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. With that being said, I do still kind of like my pick. Like, I think this person was entertaining. I think they're a good competitor. I enjoyed him. I wouldn't mind seeing him back on the show again. My Rookie of the Year, based on what's already been picked, I'm going Chauncey. Chauncey was like just a good competitor. Like, I think if he were to be on shows, he's not going to stir up a lot of drama, but he's also not incredibly boring at the same time. He's a competitor. He's like always willing to, it seems like, be engaged with the rest of the cast, which is always good, especially as a rookie. And he made it far. So I'm giving my Rookie of the Year to Chauncey.
Good pick. Good pick.
So let me ask you this about Chauncey. What do you think it would look like if Chauncey's on a season without Amber? I feel like part of his kind of storyline, his personality, was him tied to Amber, obviously, because they were partners and dating, and now he's literally his baby mama. But, you know, I think he was kind of...
Is that confirmed?
He was pretty quiet. He was reserved, and, you know, he was engaged, but he was kind of like very protective of Amber. And so I wonder if there's a season where she's just not in the house, if that kind of allows Chauncey to kind of be more aggressive and to show more of his personality that we may not have gotten to see this season.
Yeah, I like Chauncey. I think Chauncey is a good competitor. Like Alex said, I would love to see him perform without a vet partner to see what his moves, what his strategies, and what his alliances are now after this season. So he seems like a likable person. I mean, what they finish fifth?
Yeah.
Six. Yeah.
Six. I mean, I think here's the thing. If for some reason Amber, B, and Chauncey don't work out, which I think would be impossible based on the track record of challenge relationships, and let's say they do break up and Chauncey comes back, and he comes back fully single, broke up with Amber B, I could see him being very fun and very fun to be around. He's a good-looking guy, and I could see him like trying to, you know, kind of hook up with some girls, have some fun, do his own thing. I think he'd be exciting to watch solo.
What other challenge babies come from two challengers?
Zach and
Jenna.
Mm-hmm.
Did Brad
and Tori have a few running around. I don't think they're babies. I think Amber and Chauncey's baby. That's good challenge blood. That's a champion. And
didn't who'd you ran a final when Bananas won last?
Oh, Bailey and Swaggy. I think she had a baby.
Oh, come on.
I mean, that'd be a last place baby.
No.
Melissa.
The blonde. Yes.
Yeah. Was it from Kyle?
That was from Bananas.
It might have been from
Kyle. The picture.
It would have been Bananas or maybe Kyle. Maybe it's a little Chiquita banana.
Corey and Ryder. Or I guess Corey and Cheyenne had Ryder.
Yeah, Corey and Ryder.
Ryder's bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah.
Season 60.
But seriously, when are we getting Bloodlines 2 with these babies? It's got to be soon, right?
Soon. Tony's kid, CT Jr.
Wait, speaking of Tony, can we get Tony back on the challenge, please?
Alex, you have always said that.
Oh, yeah.
All right. What about a quick honorable mentions?
I had a quick honorable mention.
There's a few.
For Mariah.
Yeah.
Because I think she had a great plan of not saving her partner Fezzi and throwing him into an elimination. I mean, I think that gives Alex the stamp of approval because I know Alex hates Fezzi a lot and everybody else loves Fezzi on the pod.
I've been saying that.
Yeah. Mariah was also bad.
She kind of
good for Bananas.
I like Nerys too. I think Nerys could come back and have a decent little season.
There was that middle tier of rookies that there were quite a few.
Maybe a rookie, Roxanne Lavin.
Oh, that might be a spoiler for other things.
She might come up later.
Oh, that would be.
All right.
All right, we got to keep going. Moving on, Andy, you're up first, and guess where we're going? We're going to the comeback player of the year.
So I like this. It makes me think of the movie The Comebacks, one of the best sports movies ever made. I'm going to go with, and honestly, I didn't really, there are quite a few of these that I just took to my own, like perception of how I'm going to vote this. But my comeback player of the year is going to be Devin.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like he was terrible going into this, but from my perspective, he was kind of going to be one of those guys that was on the challenge for a while, was probably going to sniff winning it all. Now he did it.
Good pick. Good pick.
So I think that's going to be my comeback player. He did it all,
Alex?
I mean, Devin's a good pick.
Yeah, it's all right. Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is not a deep category. I don't think there's a lot of great picks this year. I feel like usually we have a few. So for my comeback player of the year, I'm gonna go with Jay. Jay was not on last season. He had an early exit the season before, and we'll talk about kind of the season progression in a little bit, but like when him and Michelle left, I think the season really went downhill. They provided for a 2-3 episode span a lot of entertainment because they were kind of the only team that was willing to shake up the house. I feel like before that, it was a lot of the vets teams winning, sending in the rookies. And like I said, so I looked up this little stat. So right now it's March 1st, 2023. And, it feels like Jay's kind of still in the challenge world. But like I said, he was not on the season before. There was a long gap between this season. The last time Jay was on an episode of the challenge was episode 7 of Double Agents, which was on January 27th, 2021. So over 2 years ago, the episode title was Die Another Jay. So spoiler in the title. But I'm going with Jay. I mean, I know he wasn't like the MVP of this season, but like for when he was on the show was entertaining, making things happen, and you just really didn't think about Jay for a couple of years before that.
That's a good pick.
I'm surprised this person fell because I thought this would be like the first one off the board. And maybe I'm thinking of comeback wrong, but this person hasn't been on the show since Total Madness. Jordan. Jordan's my comeback player of the year. I mean, he didn't make the final of Total Madness. You haven't seen him since 2020. 3 years later, he's back, and he arguably, I think we compared him to Jesus Christ on this season of the challenge. I mean, the obstacles that he went through, and the fact that he finished third this season, $38,000, unbelievable. Arguably one of the greatest challenge performances of all time. I'll say it. Wow. I cannot believe that fell to me.
That's a really good pick.
I was like, guys.
That's a good pick too, because we actually in this most recent offseason, we did a Legends tour for Jordan. And we talked about how on his Total Madness season was kind of underwhelming. He went home fairly early. He lost to Fezzi. And we kind of talked about how obviously he's still a legend, but like he needs a comeback season. And I think this was it. He's back in the stage. He's back in the fold. So that's a really good pick.
And it seems like he's back, like you said, back in the challenge grind. He's on that World Champions next year. It's just good to see. He is a great person to have on the show. A great person. Arguably, once Banana CT retire, is he the face of the challenge? Could he be that person?
Well, let's not forget who seemed to be the poster child of this season.
Nelly? Scuba?
Legend. That's a good pick. Honestly, I kind of felt myself just being sucked back in that now Jordan's on the show and he is a staple and has been for a while. But when you do think about it in terms of the last time he was like out and about with the show, it's been a while. It's a good pick.
My only other honorable mention, and I didn't go this way because it would have been too stupid, but I don't know if a rookie can get comeback player of the year, but I was almost going to try to make a case for Kenny just because he literally kept coming back to the show. He went home right away with COVID, and then he loses, and he's like watching HBO for a month in the hotel. And so I was going to go Kenny just because the fact that he literally just kept coming back to the show.
My honorable mention was Bananas for coming back to a finals. He didn't make it the past 2 seasons.
He's been off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bananas was my other comeback player of the year. Good.
Yep.
Any honorable mentions? No, Andy?
No, I was fine with what was been taken.
Sounds good. Okay, so moving on. Next award is the Who of the Year. And let me tell you, watching the reunion, me and Alex, we were kind of skimming watching part 2 tonight. They did a couple of those shots in the crowd. Who are some of these fuckers? I swear to God. I had no idea. But I know this person might not be the most hooey of the entire season, but I got to go with him. And it's got to be Kenny's brother. Or Casey's brother. Casey's brother. Sorry, Casey's brother. Exactly. See, I don't even know the fucking name. Casey's brother is my pick, Kenny. Just because the smirk level, I mean, it's just so bod. It's hilarious.
I think he had like a record number of low confessionals.
Gotta be. I mean, how many words? I think the over under Alex had was 5.5 words said for the reunion, and I think with the under hit.
I said it for a half a word.
Yeah.
Wait. And I'm not kidding here.
I don't think he said a word.
He was not on the reunion.
Yes, he was.
No.
Yes.
He was right next
You're
to
lying, Sarah.
God. Yes.
Yeah, I think Kenny had a Who season of epic proportions. Like he was on like 12 episodes or more.
He was more.
He's like 15 episodes.
He probably had 15 episodes.
Like 10 confessions.
I think 10's pushing it. I would love to break down how many words per episode and stuff. I think our stat department, Adam Meadows, will get on that in the off season. So, God, yeah, it's just so smirk. Like I just fucking love him. Wait, what's his actual name?
Kenny. That's a good pick.
All right.
My pick for Who of the Year. This is probably the deepest category. I mean, when you have these seasons that have 40 people on them. My pick, though, I'm gonna go with Tamara.
Ooh.
Tamara. All I know about her and all I can explain about her is the fact that she was Turbo's partner. And Turbo had a
Turbo was on this season?
LVP potentially. He had a like wild fucking shooting star season where he just came in like a wrecking ball, and you forgot that he was actually tied to a partner. I think she was kind of bad. I can't really remember. I'm not going to say her name, but I actually confused Tamara with another Who of the Year. There's another girl that I think kind of looks like her. But Tamara, just, you start and there's like 40 people there and she's gone quickly and you don't know what she looks like. I couldn't pick her out of a lineup. Don't know anything about her. So I'm going my Who of the Year for Tamara.
Great pick. Honestly, like you said, it could be usual suspects-esque. Line them up in the line. Number 2 starts singing. Number 3 starts singing. I have no idea who it is. So, Andy, who you got?
That's a good pick. I'm kind of torn between 2, even though there's probably another 5 or 6 good options. I'm going to go with who I think Alex might have been alluding to, and the chat's been onto it as well. I'm going with Analysis. Like, honestly, when you think about that team, it was full with just 2 Who's, as is. But the highlight of that team was Whittle Tommy. So if you're a Who to Whittle Tommy, then what are you doing? I did not remember her name until I looked up the cast today. Like, I would remember that as Whittle Tommy and his partner. And her name was Analysis. So I've got to give her my Who.
So wait. So who is your actual pick, and what was your analysis on it?
Yes.
Yes, Duffy.
I mean, we don't know anything about this girl.
God.
And she was on for a few episodes.
God.
I do want to give honorable mention to Sam as well.
Who?
Of Sam and Kayla.
Oh, I think the list can go on. If we're doing honorable mentions,
Nam and Emmy are both up there.
you said Tamara.
Nam was on this season.
Nom Raven.
Simone.
Johnny? Not fake Johnny.
My runner-up was maybe going to be Kim, that tall blonde guy. And the reason he was on for a few episodes, I think one in elimination, but I always confused him with the blonde girl on his team because his name is Kim.
Colleen?
Yes. Classic. And that's the thing. If you think of that team, you think of Colleen, and then Kim is the afterthought, much like my analysis.
God, this is just too much. All right. Moving on. Elimination of the year. Andy. We had 22 episodes, so I hope you can find one elimination you kind of like.
Honestly, I just hated so much of this season. But I think my pick for elimination of the year is going to be the very first one we had. It was called You Move, I Move. Sam and Kayla got taken out by Devin and Tori.
Wow. And
you just think, like, this was when I was looking through and going back, and I was like, wow, the champs were in the first elimination. You know, one thing doesn't go their way, and the season goes totally different. But when you look back at, you know, who's hanging the banner and who's holding the check, and to see that they were in the first elimination and took care of business, I got to give it to them as my elimination of the year.
Good pick.
What was it? Do you remember?
It was You Move.
God.
You Move, I Move. They stood on a platform and tilted 5 balls through a maze. And I think Kayla and Sam had some sort of screaming argument, I'm sure, and probably broke up afterwards.
I'm actually surprised that episode happened in October. I'm surprised they're still married.
Ooh. Are they? Is that confirmed?
I'm pretty sure. Kayla, is Kayla on that Challenge World thing?
I don't know. All right, elimination.
We'll set an over-under on that one.
Well, our stat department.
All right, my elimination of the year was called Bridget, and it was Bananas and Nani over Fezzi and Mariah. It's the last elimination. I get not in the finale of the year, and I just remember
the catch.
Yes, the foot catch. I wish I could find that picture. The Nani toe catching the thing. I just remember coming on here for that episode recap and being like, that it felt like the pinnacle of the season. Like this was like obviously the last one. You finish it, and the 4 teams that are left are going to the final. You had 2 pretty good teams going at it in the last one, and you know it was like I thought it could go either way. Fezzi and Mariah had done pretty well all season, and you know the fact that I think Bananas finished first, and then Nani got up to the top, and then she dropped her thing.
Yeah.
And she had to go all the way back, and then when she went back up was when she did the little toe catch. And that's just my elimination of the year because, you know, I think it was the best. I think it was the most entertaining, the most on the line. So I'm going to go Bananas and Nani over Fezzi and Mariah.
I mean, David Tyree, Julian Edelman, Nani in the last elimination. They have to be in the same conversation.
Good pick. My pick's going to be Jordan and Anissa over Chauncey and Amber. And this was the one where you have to run and knock down almost like these bins or whatever. And I don't know if you remember, this was when Jordan was like, I'm going to show this rookie how it's done and just show him. And he basically just let him sprint to a spot and followed him and then peeled off and just kind of outsmarted him the entire way. Pretty impressive win by Jordan doing it that way. Anissa, on the other hand, crawled her way toward victory, manhandled, anchors down, must be a Vanderbilt fan or something. Anchors were down, and she just completely dominated Amber. It was a pretty impressive win for both of them. And it was great to see, as much as you guys hate to hear it, it was great to see Anissa picking up a dub.
Where's this fake Anissa? Why are you gaslighting us from an Anissa perspective right now?
I'm just saying, it was great to see Anissa picking up a dub, even though Jordan carried her.
The more entertaining part of that elimination was definitely
Jordan. Yeah, I'll say this. That elimination was 97% Jordan, 3% Anissa.
But when has Jordan ever outsmarted somebody in an elimination or in the challenge at all?
And that was, we just said Amber and Chauncey were 6th place. So that was, I think, the second to last elimination.
God, yeah, it was
So
pretty
that
late
was
in the
late.
game.
A lot of stuff on the line.
Yeah, but we still had like 7 episodes left.
It's literally true.
Literally.
God.
My only honorable mention for elimination of the year was going to be Horacio beating Jordan in Balls In. So he won. I just remember that being a very entertaining elimination. Obviously, 2 of like probably, if you're looking at this cast, probably just straight up the 2 most athletic guys out of the whole cast going against each other in something physical, agility, all that. And for Horacio to knock out Jordan was incredible. And I feel like some of those solo one-on-one eliminations we got weren't great, but this one definitely stood out. So I would say that's an honorable mention.
I will have to say another honorable mention I had was, and I know this is late in the game too, but I thought it was kind of Smirk City. It was just one kind of moment. Going back on Onisa now is Balls In at the end. It wasn't a great elimination, but the fact that Nani literally broke her ankle like a little like, she was like a 62 overall juke move and matted and just snapped Anisa's knee and ankle up. I mean, that was pretty Smirk. So, all right, Andy, anything?
No, there were too many of these damn things. There should have been a purge. They should have just, once they brought back everyone, they should have just eliminated half of the cast.
Honestly, another honorable mention is and I don't even know what the elimination was, but the one that Mrs. TJ was on.
Just because she was there?
Yeah. We'll get into that. All right, moving on.
Let's explain this next one.
All right, moving on. We're going to the Stephen A. Smith Hottest Take Award. Alex, you want to explain this to our AWS?
Yeah, we're at STP, we're always thinking of new awards, new ways to make the show better. So this is a new award that we have tonight, and it's the Stephen A. Smith Hottest Take Award. And it's basically, we all have to make a take about the season, and it has to be hot. It has to be scorching hot, something that, it might be surprising the first time you hear it, but that we're going to kind of make the case. And we kind of left it open-ended. It can be about a specific person, an episode, the whole season, just anything related to kind of ride or dies, just a take that we have to make here tonight.
Yeah. So I'll kick us off, and I feel like we should definitely go at it with each other. If we disagree, let's go at it for a little bit. I have a lot of hot takes, but this one, I like the debate on this one. So that's why I'm going to throw it out. And it's this person coming back for another season. Now, this person has been on a couple seasons, and they have not had, I don't even know how much airtime this person has had. This season, they were on the season, and they had no airtime. And my hottest take will be Nam will be invited back to season 39 of the challenge.
No way.
There's no way.
There it is. Let's stir the pot. Here we go.
So why?
Why not?
No. Why?
Why?
Because he hasn't shown his potential. He's never had a shot. So the challenge is like, well, we should give him another shot because we don't know what he can do because his partner screwed him over. This season got hurt, so we had no idea what it could be. So I don't hate that. They don't know. It's almost like Chris Ballard drafting or picking up like Matt Ryan or maybe a Derek Carr-esque player and being like, I don't know. Let's give him a shot. I don't know.
Do you want this to happen?
Yes, I want Nam back for another season. I think it's just Smirk.
A 4th season?
Yes. I want Nam back. Please.
That's how I feel right now, Trev. After hearing that, I'm just right here.
That's my hot take. I think Nam will be back and I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying I think Nam's back, and but on the record, I do want Nam back.
So Nam has done 3 seasons. Never been in elimination, never lost. He just gets sent home.
Probably he's had 2 conventionals in his career. He's almost like a player that's torn his he tore his ACL 3 years in a row, and you don't know his potential.
He's like a myth at this point.
Yeah,
he's like Kaiser Soze.
Yes, he is. Nobody knows his potential.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
If he had potential, he would have shown his potential.
How? His partners were the ones that sent him home. So give me a free agent game.
Look,
Him
no,
solo.
Let me ask you this. Sarah was always riddled with having shitty partners, but everyone before she won her first ring always said that Sarah was good. Not that she had potential, but that Sarah was good. Nam has had shitty partners, and he hasn't done anything.
I also think it's different because Nam has had less seasons and episodes than Sarah did.
After Sarah's first 3 seasons, she had done more than Nam.
You're telling me it's fair that Nam had 25 minutes of this season? And it was
on him.
How? His partner went home. He had no chance.
No. Nam sucks. Nam is a waste of a cast member.
God.
I think you got to go back to where it starts with him when him and Lolo, they were on like 10 episodes.
And they didn't go home.
I know, but they didn't go into an elimination. They were on enough times for them to win a challenge, for him to make a splash, to show some fucking personality.
I mean, when you're with Lolo Jones, I
get it, but
Nam's coming back. That's my hot take.
Yikes!
Wow,
it's a hot take.
I told you. Now, I knew this would stir the pot a little bit.
It's like when you touch the oven, take your hand off right away.
Now I'm coming back.
All right, am I up for Stephen A. Smith?
Who's up? Am I up?
All right. My hottest take of the year is this.
Oh, God.
Ride or Dies is Jordan's most impressive performance. Most impressive seasons. More impressive than any of his 3 title seasons. It was more impressive that he was able to make the final with Anissa and do some impressive things along the way. I'll stop there because I have a case I can make.
The only argument I would have for that would be Dirty 30 because he literally broke his leg in the final and still won.
That's true.
That's my take. I don't even care what he did before in Dirty 30. Breaking your leg in the final, not bitching about, oh, I sprained my ankle, oh, my knee hurts, to 2 other finalists, and him breaking his leg and literally finishing a final, not just finishing, winning it.
So, I mean, Dirty 30, incredibly impressive. So was War of the Worlds 2. Yeah. I think you would say X's 2 is probably his least impressive ring. I mean, it was very impressive that he won, but I think Dirty 30 and War of the Worlds 2 stand out. But here's why I kind of go to Ride or Dies. Is because of the expectations that you have coming in.
Fair.
Like you go into War of the Worlds 2 and Dirty 30, where obviously they're on big teams moving around, but like it's an individual game, both of those seasons. So it's like it's all up to Jordan. Jordan can go however far or not far he's able to make himself go. So you go into those seasons, you know Jordan's a stud, you know he's like an all-time challenger, all those things, and he does things like, you know, pull Josh off the tug of rope or win the final or, you know, propose to Tori. We saw how that lasted, or land on the ground and from the helicopter and like still win a final in Dirty 30. And like, in a way, it's incredibly impressive, obviously, but like, we know that he can do that. We know that he's that good of a competitor. You start this season and you pair him with fucking Anissa.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I think
how can he make it past episode 4?
I mean, I think you said it best a couple episodes ago. You said Jordan is Jesus Christ.
Yes. So I know he didn't get the ring, but I think he beat Laurel and Jack in elimination, him and Anissa did. Ja. And then they beat Casey and Kenny when they came back. So like he won eliminations, and you know, the fact that he was able to get 3rd place in a final when there was like 18 teams with fucking Anissa. They said it's been 13 years, I think, since she was in a final. So I know he didn't get the challenge title this season, but I think Ride or Dies is his most impressive season ever.
I think there's definitely a case. I just think Dirty 30, breaking your leg and winning a final. And it's not like he broke it like in the last day. It was the first thing of the final.
He won on 2 limbs.
Yes, people forget that.
He didn't have that much more, though, and he was partnered with Anissa this whole time. We talked about this team had 1 hand, and he made it to 3rd.
All right, Andy, hottest take.
I'm kind of struggling here. if I'm giving my confessional. I'm having some struggles, figuring this out. But I think I've got one. I've got two that I really like, but I think I've got one. And I've danced around this for a while. I honestly don't even think this is that hot of a take, but some might view it as it. So I'm going with it. This season proved to me that Fezzi is never going to win the challenge. Ever. And people have said for a while that he's a beast and he's, this big bad wolf. Fuzzy's never going to win a challenge.
Look at Adam. Honestly, Jesus Christ.
Wouldn't you have said that last season?
I mean, maybe,
Well,
but at the same time, this was like he's done. He has hit his peak. He's never going to do better than he's done.
I don't know. I think I don't like that call. I don't like that because how the challenge is going is where we get you said final. Oh, you said win or final?
He's never going to win the challenge.
I actually think he's going to.
I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win a team one. I don't think he'll win a solo one. I think he'll win a team one.
I think he's going to win a solo.
Oh, here we go.
He's a bad teammate.
Should we just switch this now as a teammate versus? No. We're agreeing that he's going to win. It's just more of we're just changing it up now that he's going to win. It's more of a team.
That's now I'm kind of walking back because what I was about to say is
he's an extrovert.
Fezzi he's an introvert, but he's athletic enough to win a final.
Yes.
He has.
But he's not smart enough.
I know. He has the endurance. We saw, he has good athletic background from the University of Tennessee playing football. But we see season in, season out. It doesn't just take running a good, mile time and lifting weights to win a final. It takes fucking mental toughness. We saw Olivia had that. We saw Horacio had that. And I think Chattanooga, every time we see Fezzi, he doesn't have that. So I'm kind of torn now.
I just think he'll win a cakewalk one. It will be some bullshit 4v4, like Battle of the Seasons almost esque, where it's like everybody wins it essentially. I see that from him. And even in those finals, yes, he can do the running, he can do all that, but like you said, when it comes to a puzzle or whatever, he sucks at. But if you have a good team around you, yeah, you'll win. And I think they'll give him a layup. I think they'll do kind of a ride or die. Maybe he'll be partners with Casey, and he'll just, I think
they were one time.
They were,
but Casey got hurt.
Yes.
No, Fezzi. She was fine. Fezzi would have fucked him because he can't eat either. He can't eat and he can't think. He's a Neanderthal.
All right, let's move on.
Are there any honorable mention takes?
I had one honorable mention take.
Okay.
I was going with, I think this was the hottest cast in the past 10 years across the board.
Hottest,
most attractive.
You had Olivia, Mariah, Nerese, Horacio, Jordan,
Laurel, Tori, Kayla. This is a hot cast.
Probably some of the Who's.
Colleen.
That's a good take.
What's the case with Jay? Michelle. Michelle's bad.
My two honorable mention takes were going to be, I said Jordan was the most impressive. I was going to go something close to that and say Jordan would have won the final if his partner was a bag of sand. I think that was a take I was workshopping. And then also, this is probably my real backup, was that I think Tori and Devin's challenge title is going to end up not getting the recognition it deserves.
So on top of that, I said Devin and Tori would both win one ring, and this was their only ring. As a hot take. I also said, now this is probably one of the hotter ones. Andy's gonna be like, no fucking way. Alex, same thing. Real seasons. So season 39, season 40, season 41. this was Bananas last season.
That was going to be one of mine, Trev. I'm with you. But here's the thing.
I think we'll do the chance.
I think you're crazy.
I
You can't quit it.
No. And here's the thing. Like, Trev, I thought about that one. I was close to it. But him and Nani, and Nani's so good. She was confirmed going through a lot this season. I want that on the record. But
what was she going through, Andy? Do you remember?
Shit. But Bananas still has it. Bananas still has it. And after watching this season, I don't think there's any denying that.
I know. And that's the thing. It's like, you're almost like Tom Brady, where it's like, why hang it up if I'm still getting second place? Like, I'm that close.
I think Brady's lost it. And I think also Brady, I think, again, like we've talked about on here, Brady could be the reason why Bananas does not stop until he gets his last one.
Yeah. Mikey the Doctor just brought up a good point. 100% he'll be on season 40. They want all the heavy hitters. I mean, it's going to be like a 40T that season. There's going to be like...
He's going to be on season 50.
No. We're not going that. I don't know how much he's got left in me. But I do want to go back to one of the... I think it was Dabu wrote it? Or who wrote it? No, it was OK Squid. Sorry. Where was it? OK Squid wrote, Tori Deal is a top 3 female challenger as his... And he said active, because I want to know if he was talking active. All time, not even fucking close. Active? I don't think that's that hot of a take.
I don't think it is.
I think it's accurate.
I mean, the hot take, I feel like, would be saying she's number one overall.
Well, who do you think's active?
I guess Laurel.
Let's do that active right now. And he said, or she said, they want to include
Kara. I think Kara are both ahead of Laurel, even though I don't think Kara is really active anymore.
No.
Well, Kara's on the season or whatever.
I don't think she is. I think she's blacklisted.
No, she's on a season.
Well, I don't think so.
World champion?
No, she's on. No.
What are you talking about?
All Stars 4.
Kara?
Yes.
Is she?
Adam Mito sent us the list.
I don't remember that.
God.
I mean, the thing, maybe we're talking about active female challengers. I feel like the person that we've always been comparing Tori to
Cam.
The past few seasons is Cam. They kind of started at a similar time, had really good rookie seasons. They've shown flashes of brilliance, and now Tori gets the ring before Cam does.
Is that a baby? Do Cam and Leroy have a baby?
Yes.
Oh, we forgot to chalk that up.
Kingston's definitely, he's like plus 200 favorite.
That's his name?
His name's Kingston.
That's kind of a badass name. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, look at the stat department. I'm pretty sure his name is Kingston.
I think I might change my take from Fezzi will never win one to Kingston will win one before Fezzi.
Well, I mean, that's really the same. God, that's a badass name. Kingston?
He's coming back.
God. All right, so top three active girls. Who are they?
I would say Laurel.
Okay.
Tori.
Kara.
Casey.
If we're including Kara, yes. If not,
Casey.
What about Cam?
What about Ashley?
Who?
I would say Casey. I would say
like
Casey.
Ashley, the one who went home. Wait, was she on the season?
Ashley?
Yes,
No,
Mitchell.
no,
Okay.
no.
Oh, yeah, no.
You have to ask this.
Yeah.
I would say Tori, Laurel, and Casey.
Mm-hmm.
Over Cam?
Fucking Olivia's coming.
She is. She's next up.
And if I know she's active because she did one a couple seasons ago. We should get Ginny back.
Yes,
Ginny was a fucking robot.
Yes. I do want to say, Annie's been talking a lot of Olivia tonight. Is hot seat Gabby Allen?
I mean, Gabby was bad. I do not want there to be any sort of shade that is being thrown from me to her. She just needs to come back.
She kind of sounds bad.
If we get Gabby and Olivia on the same season, along with some of the heavy hitters from this season, sheesh.
It's a good pick. One last thing from the comments. Who wins for CT Jr., Kingston, or Ryder? I think Kingston's got to be the favorite in that.
I think Kingston wins first, but CT Jr. has more.
He has the longevity piece.
Yes.
Will CT ever do a season with CT Jr.? Very LeBron.
Like yes.
Like one last ride for CT.
CT won like the last 2 seasons. All right, what's next?
All right, what do we got?
Next thing we got, Andy. This is a fun one for you to start off with. LVP non-challenger.
I start off.
Yep.
Yeah, and so we have, we do MVP, LVP every episode. We kind of split it up into 2 categories for the award show. We'll get into basically we split it up between cast members that are on this season, which we'll get into, but these categories are for basically anybody that's not a competitor on Ride or Dies.
Yep.
So you can go challenger, but they just can't be on the season. You can go inanimate objects, other people, things like that. So that's what the non-challenger category is for.
Okay.
So Andy, kick us off.
So I'll kick us off, and this is something that I used to say was one of the best things about the challenge. I still hold true to that, but I don't think it's being used the right way. And I thought it was terrible for this season. My LVP non-challenger is going to be puzzles.
God, I didn't even have that on my list.
There were just too damn many of them. The whole season all boiled down to that stupid fucking cinder block puzzle. That was it. The whole season boiled down to that. And it's like, it ruins it. There were bad puzzles throughout the whole time. There were puzzles all over the place. And then it came down to a cinder block puzzle where you put together a logo of the challenge. It was dumb. It was terrible. Hated the puzzles this year. Hated them.
Great pick. Great pick. Way too many, like you said. I would love to know how many, what do we have, 22 episodes? What would we say the over-under? I'm just guessing. 17 and a half?
Puzzles?
Yeah.
I think you got to go over.
Wow.
I mean, because there are some episodes where you get one in the daily and one in the elimination.
Yeah. All right.
That's a good one.
Alex, LVP?
My LVP for non-challenger, I'm just going to go with season length. I'm going the length of the season. And so I was curious, so I looked this back up again. We had 19 episodes of the season. We kind of touched on this earlier, but we had 19 episodes. You have a 3-episode final. Let's say you knock that down to 1 episode, which in 90 minutes is very doable. So you get rid of 2 episodes there. You also brought in 3 teams throughout the course of the early episodes: Bananas, Nani, Jordan, Anissa, and Darrell and Veronica. So you're basically eliminating teams, bringing 3 new teams on. So you just chop off 3 episodes there as well. And then you have the twist in the middle, which we talked about while it happened, that they only got rid of 1 team, Nelson and Nerys, in 5 episodes. So theoretically, you could chop off 4 episodes there. So there's a way that you could rework this season to get it down to 13 episodes. And if you do that, I think it goes from like a C+ season, B- season to like an A- just by getting rid of all of those fucking episodes. So I'm just going to go with season length. It's something that's been plaguing a lot of the past few seasons, but I feel like last season, I think if you cut down the episode count, it's still pretty weak. I think this one would have actually done a lot for it.
So I'm a little confused on your pick. So are you choosing 22 episodes or are you choosing
the length of the season?
Okay. Well, then I'll do the length of per episode. I'll do 90-minute episodes and how bad they fucking are. The fact that we're doing 90-minute episodes.
I want to change my pick.
To what?
You.
Oh, come on.
What is that? That's bullshit.
The length of the season versus the length of an episode. I literally had 90-minute episodes. So I'm like, are we doing the length of a season? Because the fact that, and I can argue for the length of the season being the fact that we've done this shit since October. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Now, if we want to do the math, I don't know if I want to do it again for Alex when he was talking about the length of the episode. And that's why I was confused. But I am going the length of the episodes. 90-minute episodes are terrible. The fact that we still have them, it's ridiculousness. Yes. So, I mean, why can't we do 60-minute episodes? Was part 2 and part 3 of the finale 60 minutes?
Part 2 was. Part 3 was 90.
90? It's just, I don't know how much I got left in me, Tej.
It's incredible watching like a Rivals episode or an X's episode, because you watch it and it's like entertaining for 60 minutes. You get drama, you get the club, you get drinking, and it's 30 minutes shorter, and you feel like you get more than what we get today. So,
any honorable mentions?
Yes.
I had production, ridiculousness.
I had production as well. I was trying to think of
What
like people in the challenge world, it's like other challengers, and I was thinking you can maybe say Josh. And the reason I say that is because Josh has been unfortunately, friend of the program. He's been a staple for the past like 5-6 seasons, and we joke about him, we complain about him, and like I don't think there was ever a time where I thought like, man, I miss Josh. And so like I would just say Josh because like they got rid of him, and I don't think they ever looked back.
I got one more LVP non-challenger, and you could make the case for an MVP non-challenger. I think I love that, Mikey. You could make the case for MVP maybe, but I'm not going to throw it out for an MVP. LVP non-challenger is Amber B's baby. The fact that that baby had to go through all that shit this season, get dragged by Anissa in the one elimination. I mean, is that baby all right? Flip side to the MVP, it finished further than Turbo Nom. I mean, the list goes on and on. So
I think we'd be remiss to not give an LVP honorable mention to Adam Mitos.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he was on STP as much as Nam was on the show. So that's got to be discussed at least.
God, I 100% agree. I know the chat was going at him, and I think if you're looking at the chat already, I think he's already gone. I think he did his quick little 4 minutes smile and wave for the cameras. And
I think I think he had to join a challenge.
Yeah.
Meeting.
Let's see what Adam Mitos has to say.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Mitos.
All right, moving on to MVP non-challengers. And I am blessed to get this one first because I've been waiting for this all night.
God dang it. Go ahead.
I mean, there's only one thing that I can pick. And he's in boots. And it's Puss in Boots. That's my MVP non-challenger. I mean, one of the legends of the season. Arguably, maybe an MVP vote tonight. I mean, that was one of the smirkiest things ever. Did any of us see it? I think we deserve to go see that movie. Maybe a watch, maybe a podcast
we have to do
on
a
the movie.
podcast right after.
Yes. I think so. I think that could be an off-season thing that we should do.
I think we should do that every time they do it. Because think about if we would have done it for Maverick.
Oh, it would have been wild.
Obviously, we're comparing fucking Top Gun Maverick to Puss in Boots.
Well, yeah, Puss in Boots is probably the better movie.
We have to do it. I think that's an off season.
Now, let me ask you this: the winners got to go to the premiere. Correct me if I'm wrong, right?
I think so.
How many actually showed up? You think to the premiere? You think Johnny Bananas is at the premiere with Puss in Boots?
I think Bananas would. I think he would bowl.
Remember how long it took? It was like 10 minutes in the episode to
God,
show
it was
people
nuts.
like pitch Michelle and her cat.
Puss in Boots.
Antonio
Lower
Banderas
third,
showed up.
the lower third. It's just him jumping around when it was the one where they were like pushing each other off the
over water.
and they had him on the little one. Isn't it sad though? This is the shit that we are literally loving about the challenge. Is just a little 3D animated fucking cat jumping on our screen.
Here's the thing, Trev. There were 22 episodes?
Yes.
Is that right? 22 episodes, and Puss in Boots stole the show.
Is it even bad that Puss in Boots had more airtime than some of these clowns on the show? I want to count. Here's the thing. Casey's brother, who had more words this entire season? Puss in Boots or Casey's brother? I think Puss in Boots might have a beat.
The question needs to be asked.
So my MVP, Puss in Boots.
That's a great pick. My MVP for non-challenger. I know it might seem like chalk. We've given it as MVP a lot during the season. But I'm going to go with the STP live chat.
God.
It's just always a great time coming on here. When the episode's good, you guys make it better. When the episode's bad, you guys make it better. No matter what, it's a long season. So it's fun to like sit here right now and know that it's March and we're talking to the live chat, reading their comments, and we were doing the same in October. And, you guys are with us the whole way. So I'm going to go my MVP non-challenger is the STP live chat, all for free.
Great pick. Great pick. Andy, who you got?
I mean, it really is just one big family.
I think there's one really obvious pick out there that we haven't said yet, and I would love to throw it out right now, but you got to pick first.
I think I have to go. I'm going. I mean, you mentioned the chat. I'm looking at the chat. I'm on board with the chat. I'm not on board with the chat. I'm going. My MVP pick is Mrs. TJ.
God.
She finally did it. She made her appearance. She also stole that episode easily. And she almost screwed up the horn, if you remember that for a second. She kind of blew it, and it might have been too early, and TJ's like, oh, no. But I think I got to give it to Mrs. TJ. TJ is the challenge. She's been a staple for literally decades. And now we get to see Mrs. TJ, and she was pretty bad too. So throw her on my hottest take honorable mention for bad people on this season. But I got to give it to Mrs. TJ. You guys stole my first two. That was my solid third. The chat was going all in on BK.
Well, only the Kings would pick BK, and clearly you're not a king, so.
Well, no, correct me if I'm wrong, and this is why I didn't pull the trigger. Did BK actually sponsor one of the episodes?
I don't think they did, but the fact that they were on every episode with their commercials.
Well, and that's why they didn't get my honorable mention, or that they didn't get my pick, because there's nothing better than when BK actually does sponsor one of the challenges, and you get the crown, and you get we're going to have a feast, and it's just a bunch of fast food, and the challengers are so excited. They just bulge at fast food after they've been eating all this. I mean, Anissa was eating pasta for breakfast, and she just wants to chomp on a Whopper. I mean, if BK would have actually sponsored it, no doubt one of my MVPs, but Mrs. TJ.
So my honorable mention MVP non-challengers was never seen either, though. It was something we just talked about over and over and over again. And I think it saved a challenger's life. Without this device, Kenny would have died. HBO Max. I think HBO Max literally saved Kenny from dying in the little hotel, the Redemption House. Honestly, too, honorable mention LVP, Redemption House. I kind of forgot about that.
Same. And it was just a hotel. That was it. There wasn't any sort of gamesmanship going on. It was just, let's throw these buffoons in a hotel. It was kind of like jail from how it was described. You get like an hour of free time, and then you got to go back to your room, aka cell.
One, I know we're on MVP, but one honorable mention for LVP that I had for non-challengers was just the final challenge. Everything about it. 3 episodes, 100 hours. The 100 hours didn't fucking matter. They had eliminations, cornfields, like pasta. Like, I just thought it was a bad final. Deserving of an LVP.
MVP, any honorable mentions besides HBO Max?
I was going to say us. Stir the pot.
Fair. Anything else?
No. Should we go LVP Challenger?
LVP Challenger, Andy. You're number one. I mean, you have the opportunity. Will he pull the trigger? We'll find out.
Of course I'm going to pull the trigger. I've been saying this guy's a piece of shit punk for years now. My LVP is going to be Fuzzy. He's terrible. He tried coming in as Faisal and being, he's reborn as Faisal and he's this decision maker and all this shit. No, you're still the same pea-brain idiot who got so pissed off in a cameo because I had you power ranked last of all the vets, below Devin. Yeah, below Devin. He won. You didn't. You stink. You can't do anything. He was terrible throughout this whole year. He's turning into kind of just one of the guys who likes to hook up with girls, and that's it. And if that's what he wants to be, then fine. But don't go out there thinking you're going to win it all because you're an athlete and you played like a couple practice snaps at the University of Tennessee, and now you come on the challenge thinking it's just going to be handed to you. And someone like Devin, who, yeah, you'd probably beat an Oklahoma drill, but guess what? He's smart. You're not. You're an idiot. You're never going to win this. He was bad this season. He's never going to win. He's terrible. I don't like him like on the show. I hope he never comes back. And guess what? I turned him into an absolute mental, just like buffoon off of a cameo request. I didn't even say anything. Adam Mito sent in a chat and prompt for what to say, and I made him my little bitch. And that's all he's going to be until he wins one. And guess what? He's never going to win one. He's my OVP. Chattanooga.
Unbelievable.
So
moving on. What are we going to do about the Cubs? LVP, Alex.
I thought there was a clear top two. Fezzi and my pick. I'm going to go with the Nisa. Just an easy LVP. Just terrible on all fronts. I compared her to a bag of sand earlier. Just so bad. And, I think we talked about it, and I think we've seen social media confirmation that, we guessed that her fake injury from the final is going to sideline her for season 39, which is a good sign. I'm sure she'll be back for season 40. She can't pass it up. But at least for next season, we don't have to worry about her, hopefully. So I'm going to go with my LVP as Anissa. Just very not valuable to the season at all.
Good pick. My LVP for the season, and it was somebody I had a lot of high hopes, Panic at the Disco-esque with this season. And I think I'm going to go with Turbo. I think what a freak he turned into this season. It got kind of off the rails. It was kind of scary. I was kind of scared. I mean, it was just
scary.
It was just like, it was weird. It was scary. I was just like, I don't know. I hated his performance. I mean, his video in the reunion. Did you watch the reunion video? First off, why did he come for Nelly T's throat? That kind of came out of left field. So he comes for Nelly, then Jordan, he gets pissed out. He gets pissed at Bananas. I mean, Laurel, when they were on the boat.
He got mad at Banana.
I mean, it was just very bod. So, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. I mean,
that's a great pick. And here's the thing, and I did watch the reunion, but I don't think we've seen like the entire cast turn on somebody like the entire cast has turned on Turbo. People hate him. We hate him. The cast hates him. He wasn't good this season. He got eliminated early. I don't think this season could have gone worse for him.
I think it was so fast. Like you said, like the turnaround was just ridiculous.
It was almost like his season was in turbo.
God, dumb. A couple honorable mentions I had, and Alex brought him up earlier, but I think he had a terrible season this year, was Jay. I did not think Jay had a good season. I think Darrell.
I thought about Darrell.
And Laurel. Those were my ones. Now, the only things I hate to give those people LVPs is because the partners they were matched up with.
I had one other honorable mention too, and we talked about it, and we've been discussed, but like you have to give Nam at least an honorable mention here. Like regardless of the smirk.
Even on the season.
Exactly my point. Like that's the thing. Like I hold people accountable. And Nam sucks. So I have to give him an honorable mention for LVP. I have to.
Going back to LVP non-challenger, I think we might have a third guest trying to get in here for maybe a potential late run.
She heard talks about Puss in Boots.
God, got itchy. Any honorable mentions for LVP?
All of mine have been said. I thought Thoreau was a good pick. I was going to mention Darrell. Just like when you have a big name veteran who has a bad, terrible, like Veronica, same thing.
Good pick. MVP challenger. I'll start us off with this one.
There's a lot of options here.
There are a lot of options, but I'm sticking to the common trend of Trev tonight. Yeah. And I've mentioned this person a few times already. We've compared this person to Jesus Christ. Arguably the greatest performance is Jordan. I mean, Jordan had an incredible season this year. Literally, all the shit that he went through with Tori, him powering through that, him basically, what's it called? Him basically carrying his partner. I think Alex said about 10 minutes ago, he would have done better with a bag of sand. So the fact that Jordan made it to a final, finished third, unbelievable. So
One
Alex,
hand.
yes, one hand with a team. That's pretty impressive. Alex.
Jordan's a great pick. That's where I was going. I have both of the champions available to me, but I don't think there's a good. But aside from Jordan, I don't think you can put anybody else above the champions. So now I'm just kind of picking between those two.
Interessante.
So I guess my MVP, I'm gonna go with Tori. I mean, I kind of mentioned it earlier. I think this, challenge title of hers and Devin's is just gonna go pretty underrated just because of how they played it. Like they had, they won the first elimination and then they kind of played a smart game. They didn't make any enemies. They let everybody else kind of do the dirty work, and they had very good teamwork and chemistry the whole time. And Tori, I think, just kind of goes from being somebody that we talked about having she has the potential to get a ring to now she actually did it. She did it. She's won. So I think, I don't know her exact stats, but I would guess it'd be like 5 or 6 seasons, 3 finals, 1 ring, something like that. She had a second ring and she lost it with Jordan. But she had to, go through all the Jordan drama all season. So I'm just going to go MVP as Tori.
That's a good pick. What a season. I'll round us out. And I'm going to go with somebody from a team that hasn't been mentioned yet.
Ooh.
At all tonight?
No, for the MVPs.
Oh. we were like, wait.
Them. Is there a team we haven't?
I mean, teams. Yeah.
In my mind, there's still 3 very good picks available, but this one person is who I have to give it up to. ... My MVP is going to be Horacio. Partner,
there it
Olivia.
Is. Wow.
Olivia had hell of a season. I mean, 5 eliminations. She was on when they split out the 2 teams. She was on Fuzzy's team, which was a dominant team. So whether it was in a duo format or in the team versus team, she was a winner. She won a lot. She was really bad. Her and Nelly T were getting after it. And she was getting pummeled in the finale and was still like trying her damnedest to keep competing. So I got to give it to her. In my mind, she was the number 2 female this whole season behind Tori, who won it all. So it's incredibly impressive. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that she was a rookie. So first season on, 5 eliminations, make it to the final, get booted because she got injured twice. She won the entire year, and now it's just me on the pod. So I'm giving it to Olivia. I think it was incredibly well deserved. So any honorable mentions for MVPs?
I think her partner.
I think her partner, Horacio, also very similar resume, aside from the fact when he was on Mariah's team during that, mid-season switch up. But Horacio was a beast. He took out some top dogs, not Fenway. And it was he had a great season too. So I had him on there, and I also had Devin too. I mean, you got to give some love to Tori's partner. He got his ring. He proved that you don't have to just be a meathead to win the challenge. You got to be smart too. So
good pick. Anybody else? I think we kind of hit all of them.
Could you make the case? I don't think you could. So help me make it for bananas.
No. And why I say no is because I think we can go back in time to when we did the preview show. I said this is a win or bust season for him.
And it's kind of like that for him every year now.
Yes. So that's why I don't see him as an MVP for this season.
Let me go this route with you. Just to try to make his case, he cakewalked to the finals.
The fact that he was he the only team that did not see an elimination?
Well, they did
at the end. Yes.
I think that's
yeah.
If you're trying to make a case for Bananas, that's the leg you stand on, because he is the GOAT and he's going in and he didn't see an elimination. That's hard to do.
Yeah, I think that's the case, and just there's something to be said about just having him on the show. He hasn't been on the past couple seasons, and it's like going back to your hometown, and you see the guy from your high school who's still kind of living in his glory days, and that's Bananas.
Dating somebody from your old high school and Farmer Perch over there.
So I mean, I feel like we haven't talked about Bananas.
No.
Definitely haven't talked about his partner that much.
No, honestly, we haven't.
I think one thing to add to Bananas' resume for this season is that he was piping down Mariah the whole time too, and she's bad.
I will say, this season, and I know we don't have an award. We have one more award tonight after MVP. But he was a very good radar watch the entire season.
Yeah. He knows how to play it.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, one last award tonight is the One Shining Moment Award. This award is kind of what we take away from the season. If there was one scene, one thing, one person, one item, whatever you want to calculate that as, what will you remember from this season? And Andy, you're lucky number one, so you better have something good.
All right. So let me I don't even need some clarification, but I do have to say that I've got a one shining moment.
Oh, God.
But I was not a fan of this. But it is the one thing that I will think about when I think about this season. And I hope to God it's the last time they ever do this. 100-hour finale.
So stupid.
I hope that was a staple. They were advertising the shit out of it. They were making such a big deal out of it. The first 2 hours was literally a car ride. I mean, it was such a joke. Never do it again. I hope we never see a 3-part finale. But it is if I think back to this season, I will think 100-hour finale, and then I'll think about all the other bullshit we had to endure. This is the hardest final I've ever ran. So that's going to be my one shining moment.
Okay.
I mean, I think you.
Let's just move on.
I think you met the criteria, but I tend to think more about what am I going to think back to in a positive way.
Yeah.
You have positive thoughts of this season?
Yes, I have a couple.
I'm about to mention
okay.
one.
Let's hear it.
And one shining moment doesn't have to be positive.
That's fine.
Right.
You're just during the one shining moment. It's like the kids crying scene.
It's like the Gordon Hayward missed
It's
shot.
the girl playing the flute as she's crying.
Villanova.
Yes.
All right.
So I'm curious to what you're gonna take, because
I think there's two.
I have one that I think is kind of chalky.
Okay.
Very recent. But I'm not gonna take that, because I'm gonna take something that we actually haven't talked about all night. I haven't talked about this person a lot all night. But when I think back to Ride or Dies, I'm going to think about Nelly fucking T breaking his 54 challenge losing streak. 54 fucking dailies in a row. He's always on. He's an absolute idiot. Even Turbo was throwing jokes his way tonight on the reunion. He wants to buy him a brain. He's a fucking idiot. And, he's good athletically. He's strong. He's fast, all those things. But for him to go 50-plus challenges and not get a win is incredible in its own right. And the fact that he was able to put a stop to it this season. And I think, I feel like we probably haven't mentioned it just because it was so early in the season. It was probably fucking before Thanksgiving. And now we're in March. So I'm just going to go with, when I think back to the season, I'm going to think about a few different things, but definitely top of my mind is going to be Nelly ending the streak.
That's a good pick. That was an STP prop of the season.
Yes.
Throw the prop.
Wow. Well, I still have all three of my picks left. So I'm going to throw out the honorable mentions first. I think Nani eating the spaghetti in the finals. Very smart moment. Puss in Boots. I really want to use that.
I didn't want to take it. We already talked about it.
I know, but something we haven't talked about yet.
Is this your pick?
Yeah, this is my pick, and
think-
this goes way back from Alex. This goes way back, and just so people know, we literally did this at Alex's bachelor party.
Oh God.
Wait, why is it not working? Why don't I have audio? See what it is?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's
Yeah,
not working
Bluetooth.
audio. God, classic technical
All right,
difficulties.
I'll give my honorable mention.
Okay, yeah.
As you pull that up, I was gonna say as my honorable mention, Olivia's in the golf ball.
Yeah.
The fact hitting her in the fucking face. I think that was the very end of episode 1 of the final. That was incredible. When I was between that and Nelly, like when I think about this season, I'm gonna think about that golf ball just shooting back at her face, barely missing her eye, barely missing her brain. So I think that one's definitely up there.
Yeah, I agree.
Is it connected to your laptop?
No, I don't think so. Here, wait. I'm gonna send it to Alex real quick.
What other?
I think Trev had a good couple honorable mentions. Honestly, one thing that I thought was very smirky was the Anissa rolling her ankle in the finale. I mean, that would have been something that we could have called from the beginning of the season of Anissa's going to have a fake injury that she's going to just not – that's where she's going to throw in the towel. I thought that was a pretty good one.
It's gone now.
Wait, what the fuck?
Did his audio go out?
Oh, it might have.
No.
All right, what is it?
Wait. I think I know how to find it. This is so annoying. It was on his end, the video that I'm pulling up. But I know how to pull it up.
I was also going to say one shining moment as Trev's Castaway pod. The solo person pod. That was awesome. I think we instituted that as a tradition, especially if they keep doing these 2 and 3 part finals. We're going to pull daggers and figure out who has to take the stupid punishment of watching these episodes that really don't mean much.
The problem is we're going to have to make sure we limit that to the finales because now that we've done it once, I could see us doing that during like episode 8, 9, 10s of the world where none of us want to do this shit. It's already dragging on.
Pause. Keep going, Andy. October
13th.
Go ahead, Andy. What were you saying? We literally have to keep doing that. I'd love, as much as it sucked to do, it was fucking awesome at the same time.
Well, yeah, you went for like 45 minutes. It was supposed to be 15.
Yeah, well, I'm all in.
But most notably,
all right.
he is an
All right, here we go.
Mr. Bill Simmons. Welcome to the podcast. Great intro, and certainly miles ahead of Nelson's toast on the first episode of the challenge. I'm going to read you passages from a few famous speeches, and if you know who they are and you know where they came from, just go ahead and shout it out, okay? 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation. Abe Lincoln. Abe Lincoln. That's one small step for man.
All right, it's after this.
One giant leap for mankind. It's not CT. Neil Armstrong. Perfect. Hear ye, hear ye. If you made it here, you're here to play. But can you really play? We'll find out as the game begun. But has it really begun? Yes, it has. Put your mother drinks in the air. You left out the. He did like a weird cat.
God. Nelly T's speech. I don't know if that was the passing of the torches from Bananas to Nelly. Nelly giving that speech. It fired me up for the season. I'm fired up again. Like, it literally fired me up. Nelly just America's sweetheart, the poster boy of the challenge.
So that's your pick for one shining moment?
Yes, it was Nelly T's speech on EP1 back in October. Hear he. I mean, like, what is... Oh, my God. Smirk City.
Fucking idiot. So dumb.
Any other moments, or we kind of talked about them? I mean, Puss in Boots is up there.
You're going to think about the eliminations. You're going to think about Puss in Boots. You're going to think about STP. I think you're going to think about Jordan and Tori, just their kind of drama all season.
Yeah.
Oh, one other one. Was the specific elimination when Jordan threw in Fezzi and he made the speech about how he doesn't negotiate with terrorists. I feel like that was kind of the peak of all the Jordan Tori drama with Fezzi thrown in there.
Yeah, I was good. Try to think of anything else.
My only other one was
you said Mrs. TJ, right? That
was Smirk. My only other one was just I don't think you could pinpoint it on a moment, but just those those couple weeks there where Jay and Michelle were pissing everybody off. I thought that was a fun time. It was.
Anything else?
That's it for the awards. I feel like. What about closing thoughts on the season?
Closing thoughts. Anissa. Overall, I think it was an all right season. It wasn't an amazing season. It wasn't a great season. It was an all right season. I
feel like we've kind of been pretty down on the season overall.
I don't think it was as bad as what people are saying.
I don't think it was either.
I think what we said earlier, I think it was how it ended.
Yeah.
Andy's just...
You guys are not doing this shit justice. My favorite part about this season is that this season's fucking over. We did 22 episodes of this.
I don't disagree.
If they did this in 15 episodes, it would have been a great season, but they didn't. We had to sit through 3 parts of a finale. 3. This was I'm so happy to be in the off season right now because of how drawn out this whole season was.
What do you mean off season? We're back at it next Wednesday with the start of what's it called? What's the
Legends Tour?
No, we're not doing we're doing the new season.
Madness.
World champs.
Oh God. No, I did not like this season at all. I've never been happier for the challenge to be over.
Ropa.
Here's the thing. I don't disagree with how it ended. It was a terrible ending. It dragged. We talked about the length and everything. I just, you go through phases in the challenge life cycle with the season being on and then it ends. And you go back to October 1st or whenever right before the season started, it had been over a year since we had the challenge. This is like one of the longest droughts we've ever had. And I don't know about you guys, but I fucking missed it. I did. Every time the season ends, you're ready. You're ready for it to end for the first couple seasons, or first couple months. But then it hits a time where you're like, you want it back. You want it back.
Here's one thing you're forgetting is we went like 6 episodes without any teams actually getting eliminated in a sense of like we still had the same number of teams. Like think about this. This season we had a team would get eliminated and a new one would get brought on. And we had a redemption house. And we had a twist where we went from duos to teams, then back to duos. And we had a 3-part finale.
No, I did the math earlier.
Fuck that.
Let me go this route with you, though, Andy. In 50 days from now, will you be upset that the challenge is not on?
See, that's where they've kind of torn me a little bit because, yes, what you said.
You're roping him back in.
But here's the thing. I will think back to how this season was, and it was such a damn commitment that I don't know if I'm going to be as excited when the next season starts.
I don't understand your commitment. I mean, I feel like you missed like 4 or 5 episodes this season.
Who are you to talk?
I did a solo pod. I don't want to hear it.
That was a punishment. Have some alliances.
And I also don't want to hear that last episode. I truly missed 1 episode. I was on the plane and I was ready to record.
1?
Yeah, technically
you didn't watch half the episodes. You just hopped on here hosting.
Shh. Show me the proof. Show me the evidence.
I got receipts.
Yeah, prove it. You won't. So, but I'm still alive, baby. Still doing here. So, anything else before we wrap this up? Because I think somebody needs to go potty over here.
We're gonna miss this.
Yes, we're gonna miss the challenge here. God, enough, Fenway.
And we'll see if Bananas is coming back, but we'll see what the off season brings. But I don't know. I thought this season was okay.
Mikey the Doctor brings up a great point. Let's not talk about punishments, Andy. You never wore your Scott Yeager shirt.
You think I have $500 laying around?
I also think what people forget too is Andy missed the episode Fezzi went home on.
Yeah,
The
he does
true
that every
Fezzi,
time.
Every time. That's 2 seasons in a row. Will he do it again next season? I think so.
Maybe not, because I think Fezzi might win it all.
Well, Andy wouldn't show up for that because he was
Oh,
celebrating
oh.
in Cabo with
St. Lucas?
He's going to that one club. What's it called? El Club. Have those lights out gringos, and it will just be fucking bananas.
Johnny.
Okay, Squid, Mikey the Doctor, Ryan McCord, Love by You.
Love
Boogie
you guys.
Brown.
When we say love you guys, we truly mean it. Without you guys, we're nothing. I think we should maybe we'll do a little Challenge Mania party, like a when they do in Chicago. I feel like we should do some ox throwing or something. Like I feel like that'd be pretty fun.
We could do it in Chicago, but in reality, it'd be South Bend.
No, it wouldn't even be that. It was in like Wisconsin. God, drink some spotted cow.
Those guys fucking suck.
God, honestly, LVP Scott Yeager.
Yes.
We probably should have thrown that earlier.
This is all free.
All free. 100% free. Anything else before we wrap this up? In all seriousness, now that I see OK Squid's thing, he will be at Fezzi's pickup basketball game. Should we make a 3-on-3 team and play him?
Play Fezzi, Josh, and
Jay?
Casey.
Casey? Boys only. Is Andy showing up for Global Challenge next week for a solo pod?
No fucking chance.
Well, he can't anymore, guys and girls, because I don't know if you guys know, but Andy's on that leash now. He's very Django.
Very Amber Chauncey.
No, it's worse than that. It's very
like CT and that crazy.
Yeah, and he's God. All right, well, thank you guys for listening to tonight's episode. Be on the lookout. We still got 5 years of Stir the Pod. That's going to be a bananas episode, Johnny. So be on the lookout for that. We got a wedding pod coming out in July, but we'll be back. Don't worry. We got March Madness. We got a March Madness pod coming out. I think March 15th in 2 weeks. We're not doing a pod next week. March 15th, we'll be live. We're going to do a bracket. Still debating on what.
Wait, didn't we do a bracket last year and then the actual challenge completely ripped us off?
Absolutely.
They've took it from us multiple times.
I haven't said this tonight, but I've been waiting for a check for the longest time, and I just keep asking myself, like, when we give Stir the Pod or give MTV all these ideas, is like, who's paying for this shit? Like, we need this money that they're just stealing our ideas. So, anything else?
Great season. We'll be back for 39.
We're done. We're done.
You're done, but like, we're not. The alliance is hot over here.
Watch it. The alliance is what led you to a solo pod.
Whoa. I mean, that's a brother alliance. Sod. With that being said, thank you guys. I forget the outro. Thank you guys for listening to a brand new Stir the Pod. You can follow us on Twitter at Stir the Pod. You can follow us on Instagram at Stir_the Pod. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Shout out Duffy. Come here. You want to say hello real quick? Shout out Duffy. Bye-bye.